You are watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing in Michigan, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. Pope Francis has offered his condolences to the Coptic Church in Egypt, which is currently mourning the death of 41 people in a church fire near Cairo. The fatal incident occurred during Sunday Mass in the church of Abu Safin in the city of Giza. Among the victims was the local bishop, Bishop Abdel Masih Bakit, as well as several children. The pontiff's message of condolence was sent to the head of the Coptic Church, Pope Tawadros II, and was signed on his behalf by the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. In his letter, Pope Francis expressed his spiritual closeness to the injured and the families of those whose lives were lost. Egypt's chief prosecutor has now ordered an investigation into the cause of the fire, which at this stage is not thought to be terror-related. Meanwhile, the Archbishop of Colombo in Sri Lanka has expressed his gratitude to Pope Francis for giving monetary support to the families of the country's 2019 Easter Sunday bombings. In an interview with Vatican News, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjith said the Holy Father's financial aid was extremely helpful to his people. The Easter Sunday attack 3 years ago was coordinated by Islamist terrorists and targeted churches and luxury hotels across Sri Lanka. In total, 253 people were killed, with another 500 injured. The Holy Father's recent donation to those affected totals $100,000. Cardinal Ranjith explained that the amount has been allocated to 400 families from St Sebastian's Church in Negombo and St Anthony's Church in Colombo, which were both affected by the terror attack. The Cardinal said some money was also given to families belonging to an evangelical group in Batticaloa, which was also targeted. A portion of the funds, said Cardinal Ranjith, has also been allocated to those survivors who are now bedridden or in constant need of medical support. The popular US evangelist Bishop Robert Barron has criticised a recent article in the Atlantic magazine as being anti-Catholic. Bishop Barron, who leads the Diocese of Winona-Rochester in Minnesota, labelled the article, which associated the Holy Rosary with right-wing militant extremism, as colossally stupid. Bishop Barron said that the new woke religion of some in America is now bringing back anti-Catholic bigotry. The article in question was penned by the Toronto-based writer Daniel Panneton. Bishop Barron said that a Christian's spiritual battle has nothing to do with guns and knives, but instead has to do with prayer, fasting and almsgiving. He also said that religion is something which transcends politics. 4 in every 5 families in Poland are now involved in providing aid to war-torn Ukraine. That's according to the Polish branch of the Catholic charity Caritas Internationalis. The organisation's head of communications in Poland, Dominika Chalowska, said to Vatican News that Polish parishes and religious congregations have now contributed nearly $50 million to assist refugees in Ukraine. Meanwhile, as many as 320,000 Ukrainians have been provided with housing, where more than 145,000 Ukrainian children are being taken care of by the Church in Poland. During the early days of the conflict, said Ms. Chalowska, assistance provided to refugees in the form of housing, medical support and food aid, but now she said the focus is on helping Ukrainians with their daily lives in Poland, with a particular focus on mothers and elderly people. In the US state of Mississippi, a pharmaceutical company has dropped its attempt to sell the abortion-inducing drug mifepristone. The company in question, Nevada-based Gen BioPro, voluntarily dropped its legal case on Thursday, although it did not reveal why. Mississippi's law currently does not allow abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, with few exceptions. Mississippi's Attorney General, Lynn Fitch, welcomed the decision by Gen BioPro, saying she was pleased to have successfully defended the state's abortion laws. It is estimated that more than half of abortions in the US are performed through such medication. The bishops of Brazil have expressed closeness with the church in Nicaragua, which is currently being persecuted by the Sandinista government led by President Daniel Ortega. In a letter sent to the head of the Nicaraguan Bishops' Conference on August the 15th, the Brazilian bishops said they are deeply united with their brother bishops and co-religionists in the Central American nation. The Brazilian bishops said that they are praying that justice and peace prevails in Nicaragua. In recent days, the Nicaraguan government has expelled nuns belonging to the Missionaries of Charity and closed down 8 Catholic radio stations. The police have also laid siege to the residence of the bishop in Matagalpa in what is being seen as a form of house arrest. Meanwhile, in the Diocese of Sayuna, A priest was arrested after offering Mass and was taken to a detention facility in the city of Managua. In the US state of South Carolina, a local Protestant denomination say its place of worship was targeted by vandals due to its opposition to abortion. The attack upon the building, which belongs to the local Promised Land Church of God in Christ, took place in the town of Spartanburg. The local pastor, Tommy Quick, said that their sidewalk, stop sign and school signage were all spray painted with profanities and swastikas. He has since alerted the authorities. Pastor Quick said that he has no hatred for those responsible for the vandalism and was in fact praying for them. The Diocese of Sioux Falls in South Dakota has updated its guidelines to ensure that Catholic teaching on human sexuality is upheld in their schools. In a letter introducing the guidelines, Bishop Donald DeGrood of Sioux Falls said that everyone is called to acknowledge and accept their sexual identity as male or female. The bishop also said that so-called transgender ideologies undermine the very basis of marriage and family, which are fundamental to any human society. The diocesan policy states that students cannot advocate, celebrate or express same-sex attraction or so-called transgenderism in such a way as to cause confusion or distraction in the context of Catholic school classes, activities or events. When discussing homosexuality or homosexual inclinations, the use of the term same-sex attraction is to be preferred, as it says this is more appropriate as a description in accordance with the truths of Catholic faith and morals. The guidelines also say that staff or teachers cannot refer to a student by a pronoun corresponding with the opposite sex. Finally, the pontifical charity Aid to the Church in Need is urging the British government to help bring stability to Nigeria. The charity's UK director, Dr. Caroline Hull, warns that the whole world stands to lose if the most populous nation in Africa is brought down by insurgents. She also noted that Nigerian Christians are facing persecution constantly. If the nation slips into chaos, she said, then its ramifications on neighbouring countries and the continent of Africa as a whole will be huge. Dr. Hull said that Britain has a moral as well as a political responsibility to intervene for the sake of Christians in Nigeria. Nigeria was a British colony up until 1960. Well, that's your latest headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also join us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.